You are now listening to the Sober Truth.
Hello once again, and thank you for tuning in to The Sober Truth, where we are dedicated to bringing education, awareness, fellowship, and hard-won experience to those affected by addiction and alcoholism. I am JT Hawker, and I am your host, and very happy to be so. I want to thank everybody again for the feedback that I got from the last episode. I thought it was pretty good. Actually, it was great. Thank you guys for listening. I got everything up on the YouTube channel, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, like it's all out there. So if you ever just want to tune into YouTube, if that's easier, The Sober Truth will be on there now. This is episode 3. I was going to have somebody on here for this episode, a very special guest. I'm excited to hear her story and her hope and inspiration in recovery. But we had some schedules and conflicts, and that happens, and that's okay. So she'll be on the next episode, so we'll just look forward to that. I kind of scrambled today to figure out what I wanted to talk about. I did receive some feedback on the last episode that, people were moved and people enjoyed it. People learned something from it by sharing a personal entry in my journal. And part of my life and my story. So today I thought I would do the same thing. Just kind of share some of my story, offer some inspiration and hope to somebody. At least that's my intention. Now before I get into that, into this journal entry and what I want to talk about today, I just want to right off the bat say how grateful I am for the 12-step program and what it has taught me. I had a rather rough morning this morning. I was having a really great morning. I was excited. I was going to do this kind of funny sort of episode on here, just kind of, a little lighthearted one. And then I just had a situation come up where, boy, my past was catching up to me. There's somebody out there that's still holding a pretty hard resentment. And I get it. I get it. I do. I understand completely that I've hurt people, especially my family. And man, there's nothing I can do other than just to continue to become a better man. That's all I can do, and let time heal those wounds. And it's okay for now that things are broken in relationships. That's okay. This program has taught me that I do not need to drink or use over it. It has taught me to meditate, to pray, to do other things, focus on something else. And that was really hard for me this morning. I had some pretty hurtful things said. It still hurts, even though we are working a program and we are learning these new skills, doesn't mean that those words and those things aren't going to hurt. And I've taken responsibility for the things I've done, and that's all I can do. I make that amends, and now I just have to move forward and allow time to make things right. And that doesn't mean they will be. But I have to be okay with that too. I have no way of turning back time or changing things, or you can't make an amends in 4 different ways. You just have to be strong, and I should say, I just need to be strong. It really got me down, and I think doing this podcast today is going to make me feel a lot better. I'm going to read a journal entry in here that inspired me a bit and made me feel a little bit better and stop having those thoughts of like I'm a terrible person and I did terrible things and I deserve to be treated this way, and like no, I don't. And I, I'm not going to spend the day living in the past. I'm not going to spend my time doing the wouldas or the couldas, or maybe if I do this, things will be different. Maybe if I say this or that, things will be different. I'm not gonna beat myself up. I'm going to talk to you guys and be inspired. Because if you're anything like me, you know that sharing can be just as healing as listening. It is just as important in my recovery to share as it is to listen to others and learn. So I appreciate you guys being out there for me, even when I'm having the hardest of times, out there listening, giving me hope that somebody out there is receiving my message and that they get one thing from it. That's all. So thank you guys for listening today. All right. So I'm just going to get down to it now that I'm over with that spiel. This is an entry dated January 4th, 2021. So I was about, just a little over 5 months sober. And I was feeling on top of the world. I was feeling really good. Like, I think I might have been around my 10th step, somewhere around there. Maybe. Not quite sure, but I know I was feeling good by what I read in this journal entry. And I'm just going to read it and then have a little discussion about it. But real quick, I just want to say that this journal entry talks about God a lot. And I just want everybody out there to know that when I use the word God, it's not in a religious sense. It's in a spiritual sense. Because sometimes people get turned off by that word, and I don't want to turn anybody off. I'm not on that page where it's the old, just that God you see striking people down or whatever you were taught in religion. For me, it's a spiritual connection with my higher power, and I can't think of a better, more respectful word than to call my higher power God. So I just want to throw that out there, that I don't want anybody to be turned off by thinking that I'm talking about religion. And for those of you that did not listen to episode 2, or maybe have forgot, I don't know. Just to set this up, I was in a sober living house in California. I had been away from home for almost 7 months between rehab and going out to California. So that information will make more sense when I read this to you, but wanted to let you know that I was far away from home, and I'd been far away from home for a very long time. January 24th, 2021. My spirit has never been so full of light, hope, if you will. Young it shines in this middle-aged body. It's connected directly to the source, as it once was. Seems ages ago now, though, in my childhood, losing my innocence violently and shunning God, blaming God. So I've learned now, as I've courageously battled my inner demons and fought to overpower my addictions time and time again, that indeed, the very struggles I cursed God for putting me through in my life were the very things that gave me the strength to overcome and survive, thrive even. Power, energy, fulfillment, joy, confidence, awareness, and serenity. Now, a new growing seed in my soul, ever growing, ever needing the light within me to shine. This, although wondrous, a true miracle for me, does not mean things are perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. I feel heartache when I think of home. My California sun is so far from the ones I love. I miss them dearly. I yearn to hear my husband's laughter and the look on his face when I do something ridiculous. I want to hold my dogs and cuddle with them in bed. Sadness creeps in when I think of my sons and the longing I have to just be in their presence, to share a meal as a family, in our manner of doing so by joking, teasing, and telling stories of our recent adventures in life. I yearn to be with my grandchildren, to play with them, to read with them, to watch them see and learn things for the first time. I struggle to keep motivated sometimes. The balance to maintain work, the spiritual program, classes, and financial strain get heavy. But today, I know it's okay to struggle. It's okay to feel sad and anxious and lonely, because it's all temporary. The good and bad times flow in and out like ocean waves, both equally necessary to continue a journey of growth. I now allow pain, grief, and sorrow to exist in my life as a tool to strengthen my character and resolve. I suppose all of life's ups and downs are not bad or good. They just are. I move forward in each day, living in the now, basking in the present. Will I maintain the way I am now? Will I fall back to spiritual death? Will I stay in California despite the things I sometimes crave to go back to? These questions are only for God to decide. I can neither predict nor control any of it. So I lay worry at the wayside and just do today what I did yesterday that kept me clean, inspired, and connected to the light. Yeah, I am truly grateful that I opened up to this page today. Actually, it's the page before, but yeah, I like to do this. I like to go back and read my journal. It's been one of the key instrumental things for me to do in my recovery is to journal, which is something I had tried to do in the past, several times, but, I'd get 3 entries, 4 entries, and then that would be it. I just lost interest. But for me, writing in a journal almost daily, and I try to do that daily. I try to get in the habit of right before I go to bed to just sit down and write down my day, and do my step 10 and take my inventory basically of what I could have done better that day, and also the things I did great that day, and also to share what I'm feeling at that time and what I'm going through. I just followed that suggestion. Like I said in an earlier podcast, I talked about that I was going to do anything that I was suggested to do, and I took it seriously. I'm so grateful that I did. Journaling is a key for me to see where I'm at and gauge where I'm at and be able to go back in time and see where I was and then see how far I've come. It's I don't know. It works for me, and I mean I would highly recommend it. I know not everybody is the journaling type, but you don't have to be a great writer, or you don't ever have to share it with anybody. It can be your own private thoughts. It can be your own private feelings. It's all up to you, but that's yeah, it's just a suggestion. But anyway, back to the journal entry. If you would have known me a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or even probably 20 years ago, you would have never thought in a million years that I would have written something that spiritually connected, or talking about God, or talking about, you know, being okay with pain and resentment. Um, but most of all, you'd be surprised to hear me, talking about God. Um, I did have, a very, I had something happen to me when I was a young boy that ultimately changed the course of my life forever. Uh, it was a trauma, and I'm not going to share it on here because it's very sensitive and it's very personal. But I know that, people in recovery are often victims of childhood abuse, or some sort of, childhood trauma. And that's not everybody, but I've heard a lot of stories and listened to a lot of people, and it seems to be a pretty common thing. But after that happened, I completely lost my faith in God. I was a very spiritual kid. I was raised Mormon, and when I was young, I believed everything that I was being taught. And we lived in a small little Mormon town of like 4,000 people, and everybody pretty much um, was Mormon. And so I thought that that's just the way the world was. And I loved God, and I loved what I was being taught. But after that happened, I don't know. I didn't think that God would allow something like that to happen. I didn't even know anything like that could happen. Like, it just was never taught about anything like that. Um, so it just went from there. Like, pretty much for every other next shitty thing that happened in my life, I started believing less and less in a God, and I just really started seeing the world as just chaos, and coincidence. And the more I, you know, saw the world that way, and the less I thought about God, the less I respected mankind. I just started seeing the negativity in the world. I just started seeing everything that, all the hatred and the wars and the prejudice and the racism and all that garbage that you see on the news constantly just got in my head. And I just got to the point where I was like, this place is fucked. This is a fucked up place. And there is some truth into that. It is a fucked up place. But I was living in a world where it was a fucked up place that just shouldn't be here. Like, that mankind shouldn't exist. There's no reason for us. All we do is destroy each other and hate each other. And I look back on that now, and I think, man, it's so sad that I didn't have to, but it's so sad that I did live in that state of mind for, I don't know, 20 years, maybe even a little more, a long time, living in that kind of a negativity and that kind of, like, just shitty view of my existence and everybody else's. And, and when I was in my addiction, when I was deep in my addiction, I really didn't believe in God. I absolutely was 100% just didn't even care, actually. The only thing I cared about was getting high, getting drunk, and causing my own chaos. That's how I lived for 12 years. Uh, I've been drinking since I was young and, experimented with drugs, but nothing like after I had, some back pain and some surgery in my mid 30s. And of course, the story of the doctors giving oxycodone and oxycontin, and it was right at the height of that opioid crisis, or the basically I call it the giving, because that's what the doctors were doing. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. But that's just some background. From there forward, um, my spirit just left my body when I was using and drinking. I said horrible things to people and I didn't care. I did horrible things to people and I didn't care. I had no morals, no values, because why the fuck should I? There's no God. None of this matters. Nothing I do, it doesn't, there's nobody keeping score and I don't give a shit. I'm just here to please myself and I'm going to continue to please myself because why not? And I couldn't figure out why everybody else around me wasn't doing it. I thought that everybody should see the world the way I was seeing the world. And I didn't understand how people could continue on. In fact, there came a few really low points where I didn't want to continue on. Like, absolutely not. I was done. I was over it. Like, I was just fucking over it. And, man, I think that's why I'm so grateful that I gave AA a chance, and I gave praying a chance. I gave meditation a chance. I didn't think that that was going to lead to me having such a close connection with my higher power, with God. I never expected to feel the way I feel now about God and about, my spirit and about my soul and about the world. It's completely changed. And I just kind of expected that, I don't know, that it would be like the last several times I did AA and NA, is that I would say I had a higher power, and I would give, I don't know if I even gave prayer a chance, because to me I had to like picture something in my mind for a higher power. I wasn't getting it. I wasn't working the steps enough to understand or get it. I was just floating through the big book and floating through, calling a sponsor and not calling a sponsor, and sort of working the steps and then starting them over. Like, it just wasn't, I had never given it the opportunity. And something changed this time, because I think that's due to the fact that I decided to just do the steps, just fucking do them. And if I had to hold on to that beginning idea of a higher power being an object, that's what I had to do in the beginning. And it was, I held on to, Mother Earth. Nature was definitely a higher power than me. Like, the wind and the ocean waves and the tornadoes, and I don't know, just the beauty and majesty of the earth, and nature was definitely a power greater than myself. So that's what I started with. And like my spiritual connection was like a real gradual, not real gradual, but it was gradual. Um, in the beginning, I started feeling different when I was given, prayer a chance, and praying to my Mother Nature. I was basically feeling like I was putting energy out into the universe you know, by praying, by doing what I was taught, and to pray about gratitude, like not to sit there and ask for stuff all the time, but to be thankful for things. Like my sponsor taught me to be thankful for, the food that I have that's handed to me, that the, shelter I have is provided, that my family is safe and healthy, and that, I have a car to drive. I mean, it could be anything simple. Like if I was having a really hard time struggling with gratitude, I would I would make it simple and be like, I'm grateful that I have eyes to see. I'm gonna start with that. I'm grateful that I have working limbs. Like that's all it has to be. And gradually, like I truly became grateful for all of those things. Like those things I took for granted in the past. And at some point, I can't explain it or describe it. It's not like I had some sort of aha, like an angel coming. I hear people that do have those kind of immediate um, spiritual connections. It just, I don't know. It's very personal to me. It's like a weight that I had been carrying for so long. You know what I'm talking about? That weight, that giant, mountain that you're carrying around. Like it's so heavy, and you don't realize exactly how heavy it was until it's gone. And that's exactly what my spiritual experience was like. I just had this gradual lifting of this weight, and when it was gone, I won't say gone, but when it was subsiding, and when I started feeling good, and I started feeling happy to be alive, and actually like thanking God in my prayers for this life and the opportunity to get better, the opportunity to fix myself, the opportunity to grow. I guess I was enlightened in a way to the fact that I had been such a selfish fucking asshole for so long, living in me, living in me, living in me, just living in me, and being the victim, and just fucking off my life, and not giving a shit whether I lived or died. When that was gone, now just to have that gone is a true miracle in itself. So what I'm saying is like this was not me before I started working the steps, started going to meetings, got a sponsor, started calling him, started praying, started meditating, started doing the things that the people had been telling me, suggesting to me to do for years upon years upon years, that I just absolutely just fucking refused to do. Like, who the hell are you to suggest for me to how to live my life? Like, don't you think I've tried that? Don't you think I've tried praying? Like, I just didn't know I was praying the wrong way. And the fact that working the steps would lead me to that spiritual growth. Even though I'd read the steps, like I've read the steps, I'd heard the steps read thousands upon thousands of times in meetings. That's an exaggeration. It's probably not thousands. No, it's definitely not thousands. I don't know why I just fucking said that, but I caught my lie. It was a lot of meetings that I heard those steps, and just whatever, you guys keep telling me it's going to work, and like I'm keep relapsing. I keep ending up in rehab, and I keep ending up in hospitals, and I keep ending up destroying other people's lives, and I end up, hurting my children, hurting my husband, hurting my mom, hurting my dad, hurting everyone in this world that cared about me and continued to care about me. So, yeah, I missed it. I missed the actual reality that you have to start working the steps in order to get that. In order, for me, I'm not going to say anybody else. I'm sorry if I was kind of saying that, and I did kind of say that, but I didn't mean to. For me, like, working the steps got me to where I needed to be with God, to where I needed to be with my spiritual connection, where I needed to be in order to start understanding forgiveness and empathy and compassion again, to start understanding that I have a purpose in this world, that God has something in store for me that's greater than what I was doing. That's for damn sure. Um, and I hope that purpose is helping others, because that's what I feel is my purpose at this point, is is giving back and being of service, because man, that's another suggestion that I've heard so many times, that is key and instrumental into your recovery and getting a sponsee, and having that responsibility, and that helps you continue to, go through the steps with somebody else and get something new and see the light come back in somebody else's eyes. Like, I've seen it happen actually in rehab, and I've seen it happen down in California with several men. You just see this gradual light turn on. It's like a light that you never knew they had, until one day you just look at them and they're just different. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to witness. It's beautiful to be a part of. And yeah, I'm getting a little emotional here, but that's the gratitude I have for God putting me in that place where I could see what I needed to see in order to survive. I don't think I would be here today, um, if it hadn't been for just fucking doing the suggestions, for just finally following the people that had what I wanted, and not just expecting it to happen for me without me doing any of the work. I hope that every person at some point in their lives gets to experience somebody's soul coming back into their body. Because that is, to me, um, something I hold on to remember that, uh, for me, God is real. Because that just doesn't happen, you know? Just doesn't happen by cleaning up. You can't just stop drinking and stop using drugs, and then all of a sudden your eyes get bright and you become a different person because you take away the chemicals. We're still the same sick people, and it's truly our character that needs the work. It's our character that needs the development in order to stay clean and stay sober. And I can tell you It used to scare the shit out of me that I would have to go to the meetings for the rest of my life, and that's kind of what turned me off to AA. I'm like, I'm not doing this shit forever, but now see the I am so grateful that I get the opportunity to continue working a spiritual program for the rest of my life. Like, I cannot wait to continue growing. Like, I feel this good, and so many amazing things have happened in my life thus far in this program and actually working it, that I look forward to the years and years to come of that growth, because it we can't stop growing spiritually, in my opinion. And there are times that I wish that I had gotten the program earlier, that I had understood it earlier, that I had gotten a connection with God earlier, but that wasn't in the plan for me. I had to be completely broken. Like, that's the kind of addict and alcoholic I am. I had to be completely broken, and I had to have completely broken everything I had in my life, and I had to become the most shallow, I guess, inconsiderate. I don't know what to say. Just, I was empty. I had to become soulless in order to get it. I guess that's kind of what they talk about. That is the gift of desperation. I live in gratitude every day that I received it, and that I have this opportunity, and that I get to share my story with other people in hopes that I might say something that will change their life, or that will make them think about something. I don't have to perform miracles. I just want so badly for other people to get what I have, and to feel the way I feel, and to fix their lives, because I know the broken people out there are suffering, and it's not who they are. I get that now, because that wasn't who I was. That was just me running on chemicals that um, destroyed any kind of spirit, or um, I don't know, any common sense for that matter. It just destroyed. It destroys our bodies. It destroys our minds, and I believe it destroys our spirits. I want people out there to heal, and to be able to go through what I went through, and to be able to thrive, and be part of something greater than themselves. And I know that that's not anything that I can force upon anybody or make anybody get, but I can reach out and offer my hand, and offer some guidance and some experience. You know, I'm I may sound like I know a lot or whatever. I'm not meaning to sound that way, because I still don't know shit. I'm learning just like everybody else. I just really wanted to emphasize that I was not a person that thought I was going to have a spirit or a spiritual connection or any of that, that I always just thought was crap. And I am today. And I have the 12-step program to thank for it. I have my sponsor. I have all my brothers down in California that were there for me, and all the brothers and sisters we have together in our common our common fucked upness. That's what connects us. And I'm gonna probably wind it down. I maybe went off track a little bit, but I definitely felt like after reading this journal entry that it was important that I, kind of set the pace of where I am in my spiritual life, to kind of let people know where I'm at. And I wanted to share it. I wanted to share my feelings, and I wanted to share my experience and my strength and my hope for other people and my hope for me that I continue on this path. That's something I wrote in here when I said, will I maintain the way I am now? Will I fall back to spiritual death? I'm not ever going to again have that confidence that I've had in the past about, I've got this. I've been sober for 3 months and now I'm cool shit and I got it. It's just a reminder when I read that, like, that will I go back? And as long as I continue to do what I'm doing every single day, like it says at the very end of this, so I lay worry at the wayside and just do today what I did yesterday that kept me clean, inspired, and connected to the light. That's all I got to do every day. And life isn't always perfect, and life is still hard. Life still throws shit at me. It still throws shit balls at me. But I've learned a new way to deal with that shit. Other than drinking and using and causing fuckery in the world. I've learned the tools to be able to manage it and get through it and even learn from it and be grateful for it. And that itself is a change I don't think a lot of people that know me would have thought possible. But I'm here to tell you it is. And I'm here to tell you I appreciate you listening to me. I feel way, way better than I did this morning. And that's thanks to me being able to talk on this podcast. Talk to you. Talk to anybody who feels like listening. Thank you guys. And I hope that you return to listen to the podcast again. And my next podcast, I'll have a special guest with me sharing her experience, strength, and hope. So until then, this is the sober truth.